Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shanny. If you guys didn't know, and today I'm going to be doing a updated foundation routine. A lot has changed since my last foundation routine. I didn't used to set my under eyes. That was over a year ago, and now I set my under eyes. So a lot has definitely changed with my foundation routine, and everything that's in this video is stuff that I love, stuff that has my heart. So if you guys are interested in my foundation routine, which I'm sure most of you guys are, let's just go ahead and get into this video. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by priming my face with this Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer, and I really like this primer because it does a great job at smoothing out my pores and giving my foundation a smooth base to lay on. So this is what I usually go for when I prime my face, or if you want something more inexpensive, I like the Baby Skin Smoothing Primer from Maybelline. And I like the LA Girl Smoothing Primer. It comes in a white tube. And I also like the NYX Pore Filler. So those are 3 inexpensive primers that you guys can use. And I'll link it down below because I've used those myself and they work. But this one just has my heart right now. But eventually I will go back to the other ones. Like I'll just rotate between all of those 3. But right now, Tarte, you have my heart. And it also has a whole bunch of product inside of it. So I just either press my finger in here, get some of the primer on my finger, and then press it into the center of my face where my pores are the most visible. And I also take it up on my forehead to smooth this area out and to like help control my oils. And I also like taking the primer right here around my mouth because when I have makeup on, I tend to get smile lines if I don't like do my makeup or set my makeup properly. So I just feel like putting the primer right here also helps with not getting smile lines while I have my makeup on. And then sometimes I take it on my cheekbone because this is where I apply, you know, the glow. And I feel like sometimes it just goes on way smoother like this because my face is already, you know, smoothed out with the primer. So, you know, different ways you can use the primer if you feel like you want to maximize on the smoothness of your face. I don't go ham like this with the primer every single day. I'm just showing you guys some of the stuff I do when I do my makeup. But I don't always do this every single time I do my makeup. If that makes any sense at all, I don't want to confuse you guys, but yeah. Okay, so my face is primed and everything looks really smooth. Now I'm going to go in with the BADESCU spray just to give my skin some moisture. And I also feel like when I spray my face with Fix Plus or this BADESCU spray, it just gives my foundation more of a moisturized look, and it cuts down on the cakiness and makes your foundation look more skin-like. So that's why I like going in with a spray before I go in with my foundation. And I'm going to be spraying my face a lot with this spray just to give you guys a heads up, okay? And if you guys aren't familiar with my channel, I am completely natural. So when I spray any water, I just cover my hair with my little head tie and spray my face. That's just what I have to do to make sure my hair does not revert. Okay, so my face is now prepped and primed. Now I'm going to be going in with my Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation in the color NC50. I know sometimes I mix it up because I do have the Studio Fix foundation in NC55. That's why sometimes I get it wrong in the inbox, but this foundation right here is in the color NC50, okay? Not 55, 50. NC50. This is my color. Well, it's probably a little too light for me right now because it's the summertime, but you know what? I'm still going to use it because this foundation has my heart, okay? Everything in this video today has my heart, okay? I'm just going to stipple this on my face in the area that I want the most coverage. So right here on my cheeks, right here on my nose, because I have this dark line on my nose, and right here on my chin, and around my mouth, because I have dark lines around my mouth. I don't usually put a lot of foundation on my forehead because honestly, I don't really need to do that. Oh, another thing, if your forehead is darker than the rest of your face, I would do the same thing. I wouldn't put too much foundation on your forehead if you don't necessarily need the coverage. So if your forehead is darker than the rest of your face, I would just highlight the center of your forehead. But if you don't want to draw attention to your forehead, I wouldn't do that. But put some foundation like in the middle of your forehead and then like blend it out. Then when you go into contour, then that's when you'll bring back the color of your forehead so it won't look ashy, because your foundation matches your face but it just doesn't match your forehead. So that's what you can do if you feel like you just can't get the perfect match foundation because your forehead is darker than the rest of your face. That's a little tip or trick you can do. Yeah. To blend out my foundation, I'm going to be using this Real Technique Miracle Body Sponge. I think that's the name of it, but it's bigger than the regular sponge. This is my dirty one, but yeah, it's bigger than the regular sponge, and I like using this one because it makes everything quicker, you know? Like, it takes you no time to blend out your foundation with the sponge because it's so big, and I freaking love it. Real Technique, this was genius. I love it. Y'all know what would be dope? If they came out with a black sponge that's the same size as the regular sponge. That will be so cute. Okay, so my foundation is on. Now I'm going to be highlighting with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in Chestnut, and I'm also going to be mixing it with my Shape Tape Concealer in Deep. I'm laying down the LA Girl Pro Concealer first because it's darker. Taking my Tarte Shape Tape in the color Deep. Put that right on top to brighten it up a little bit. I'm gonna take it on my nose, take it on the bridge, oops, and my forehead. And sometimes I put it on my chin, but not all the time. To blend this out, I'm going to be using my Real Technique sponge, the regular size sponge, not the big one. Oh, and you want to make sure you take your sponge to the sink and drench it in water and then squeeze it out until it's dry, but it's still damped. So make sure your sponge is damp. It's just going to give you more of a flawless skin-like look to everything that you're doing on your face. So make sure your sponges are wet. No, damped. Oh, another thing, if you apply too much concealer to your under eyes or your nose or your forehead or something like that, and you want to take some of the concealer away, just press it off onto a paper towel or a rag. Like, just press some of the concealer off and you'll be good. Because, you know, sometimes we do get carried away with our makeup and we put too much concealer on our face. Another thing, you want to make sure you don't bring your highlight all the way out to here. Say you're blending out your concealer, dab, 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 dab. Don't bring it all the way out here, okay? Because then it's just going to look weird. It's probably going to widen up your face. So I would try not to bring the concealer all the way up here, because then it's going to be hard to blend it out. Because I've noticed sometimes when I go all the way up here, it's harder to blend it out, and then my face just looks really strong and it makes it look a little weird. So try not to bring your concealer all the way up. Now I'm going to take my Sacha Buttercup setting powder, which is practically empty, y'all. This powder has lasted me a whole entire year. I haven't repurchased it. Well, I did repurchase it. The other one is on the way, but this is the same Sacha Buttercup setting powder that I had last year. I think I did a trying new products video and this powder was in it, and I told you guys I had to get used to it. But after that video, I fell in love with this powder, and this is the same exact jar from that video a year ago. So this may be $20, but it's gonna last you way more than a year. And I wear makeup basically every single day, so you good girl. Go ahead and spend $20. You're not gonna miss it. So I just pick up the Sacha Buttercup setting powder on my sponge and dab it into my skin. And I'm not picking up a lot of powder on my sponge. I don't want to look too matte. I want to look like a velvet matte. I still want some shine to my skin, if you guys get what I'm saying. And I'm also going to take it around my mouth area to make sure I don't get no creasing. Low-key, I was baking. but not really. And then I'm taking the excess powder on my nose, well, the bridge of my nose and my forehead. Okay, so all my highlighted areas are set into place. Now I'm going to be setting the rest of my face with my Studio Fix powder in NC47, or sometimes I use the Fit Me powder in 360. It just depends on the day, to be honest. But normally I always grab the Studio Fix powder in NC47. And I'm using my Morphe MB1 brush. I'm not taking a lot of powder, I'm just taking a little bit and dusting it on my face. This is the part where edges start to get real powdery. And I try to avoid the areas where I highlighted because I don't want to change the color of my highlight, because then it's just going to dull it down a little bit. Okay, moving on to contouring my face. If you're familiar with my channel, you guys already know what I'm about to pull out. But if you're not familiar with my channel, I'm going to be using the True Match contour palette in medium to deep. This is another thing that I've been obsessed with for over a year now. I can't put this down. It's my favorite, so you know. And I'm going to be using my Morphe M437 brush. I really like this brush to contour the perimeter of my face. And I also like to use my NARS Ida lookalike brush, which looks like, where is it? Okay, so this is the NARS Ida lookalike brush, and I really like this brush to contour the perimeter of my face too. So these are two brushes that I highly recommend because I always use them to contour my face. So yeah, and I'm going to start right here by my ear and blend it upward. I don't want to blend downward because then that's going to make your face look a little muddy and bring your face down. You want to lift your face, not bring it down, so blend upward. And if you're having a hard time finding where your cheekbone is, you can do a little duck face to find where your cheekbones are, or you can line up the brush with the top of your ear, and that's where your contour is going to lay. And just blend it upward. Take it up from the forehead. Blend it out as well. And then to contour my nose, I'm going to be using my Morphe M407 brush. And this is basically a jumbo eyeshadow brush. That's how I describe it. I'm going to start right up here by the eyebrow and bring it down. If you want to slim your nose, I would just go straight. But if you just want to bring your nose back out, then I would just follow your nose shape. Like that. And you can see the difference. It adds a shadow. And I like to bring some of the powder right here. It just makes my nose look a little more round. I just like the way it looks. That's how I contour my nose. Nothing really special. Now for blush, I'm going to be using Desert Rose from MAC. And I always go for this blush when I want to put on blush because I'm not a big blush girl, but I like a soft pink blush to add, you know, a little more color back to my face. So I always usually go for Desert Rose when it comes to blushes. And the brush that I usually use is this Real Technique blush brush. I love this brush. I'm gonna smile and apply it to the apples of my cheeks and blend upward. It's subtle, but it's there. That's what I like. Now to highlight my face, I'm going to be taking my ANASTASIA Glow Kit, and I'm going to be using the color Bronze out of this kit because I just like the way bronze looks on my skin tone. The brush that I usually go for is the Morphe M501 brush, or I'll use the other brush. I think it's the Morphe 500. Yeah, the Morphe 500. And you guys can see it's just a bigger version of the Morphe 501. So these are the two brushes that I normally go for. Before I go in with my highlight, I like to spray my face again. So I'm taking my Mario BADESCU spray once again and spraying my face. And I'm going to let the spray dry down a little bit and go in with my highlight. So I'm going to let this dry down a little bit, and right before it dries down all the way on my cheekbone area, I'm going to go in with bronze from the ANASTASIA Glow Kit. Okay, so it's almost dry and you guys can kind of still see the gloss, and this is what's going to make it more glowy. And I'm just blending it out in circular motions, and I like going in a C shape. It just complements my face shape. And I'm using the M500 to blend it out a little bit more. I want the highlight to be noticeable. I want to glow, but I don't want it to be a bad noticeable, like you can see where the highlight starts and stops. I don't know why I like highlighting my temple, but I do. And then I'm going to take my sponge and dab this highlight into my skin a little bit more, just to make sure it looks like it's melting into my skin. So that's that. And then apply some highlight to your nose. Can't forget the nose. Okay, so once majority of my foundation is done, then I'll go back in and finish off my eyes. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my eye makeup is done, and now I'm going to go ahead and spray my face one more time just to seal everything, and then I'll show you guys my lip gloss combination. For chapstick, I usually moisturize my lips with the rose extract chapstick. This is what it looks like. Or I'll use the MAC lip conditioner, or if I don't have those with me, I'll usually use the Vaseline. And for my lips, I usually just throw on the Light from MAC. No lip liner. I just use my natural lip as a lip liner and press it into my top lip like that. Oh, and MAC lip gloss comes through as well. Alright you guys, so that is it for my updated foundation routine. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and comment down below, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for coming back to watch another one of my videos, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Somebody's alarm is going off.